Science!
Welcome to Science this week, everybody. I got some exciting news concerning space, obviously our favorite topic here. And first up, if you didn't hear the news, it's pretty exciting. Straight from NASA, they announced a brand new space mission to Saturn's moon, Titan. Our next destination in the solar system will be this unique, richly organic world, advancing our search for the building blocks of life. This mission will be called Dragonfly and will fly multiple missions once it reaches Saturn's icy moon of Titan. Dragonfly will launch in 2026 and arrive in 2034. The rotorcraft, think a drone, will fly dozens of different missions to different promising locations across Titan, looking for prebiotic chemical processes common to both Titan and Earth. And I'm showing you a little bit of an animatic right now, released from NASA, of what it might look like once we finally land this incredible Dragonfly craft on the moon. Dragonfly marks the first time NASA will fly a multi-rotor vehicle for science on another planet. It has 8 rotors and flies basically like a large drone. It will take advantage of Titan's dense atmosphere, 4 times denser than that right here on Earth, to become the first vehicle ever to fly its entire science payload to new places for repeatable and targeted access to surface materials. Titan is an analog to the very early Earth. It's basically a window to our past and can provide us with clues onto how life actually rose up on this planet. During Dragonfly's 2.7-year baseline mission, it will explore diverse environments from organic dunes to the floor of an impact crater where liquid water and complex organic materials key to life once existed together for possibly tens of thousands of years. Its instruments will study how far prebiotic chemistry may have progressed on the moon. They will also investigate the moon's atmospheric and surface properties and its subsurface ocean and liquid reservoirs. Super exciting stuff. Additionally, instruments will search for chemical evidence of past or extant life. So we're literally going to send this mission to Titan in the hopes that we find the building blocks of life and maybe even past signs that life existed on Titan. That's mind-blowing stuff. They're looking for aliens. That's crazy. NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine said, with the Dragonfly mission, NASA will once again do what no one else can do. Visiting this mysterious ocean world could revolutionize what we know about life in the universe. This cutting-edge mission would have been unthinkable just even a few years ago, but we're now ready for Dragonfly's amazing flight. Dragonfly is taking advantage of 13 years of data from Cassini to help it choose a very calm weather period to land and also a safe initial landing site with scientifically interesting targets. It will first land at the equatorial Shangri-La dune fields, which are basically similar to the linear dunes in Namibia in South Africa, and offer a diverse sampling location for the drone. Dragonfly will explore this region in short flights, building up to a series of longer leapfrog flights of up to 5 miles, stopping along the way to take samples from compelling areas with diverse geography. It will finally reach the Selk impact crater, where there is evidence of past liquid water, organics, those complex molecules that contain carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and energy, which together basically make up the recipe for life as we know it. So it's going to make it to this crater and hopefully really give us some better insight on how life is formed in the universe. Nuts. The lander will eventually fly more than 108 miles during its 2.7-year mission, nearly double the distance traveled to date by all the Mars rovers combined. That's pretty crazy because those Mars rovers have been all over the place. Thomas Zuberchin, NASA's Associate Administrator for Science at the agency's headquarters in Washington said, Titan is unlike any other place in the solar system, and Dragonfly is like no other mission. It's remarkable to think of this rotorcraft flying miles and miles across the organic sand dunes of Saturn's largest moon, exploring the processes that shape this extraordinary environment. Dragonfly will visit a world filled with a wide variety of organic compounds, which are the building blocks of life and could teach us about the origin of life itself. So cool. Titan has a nitrogen-based atmosphere like Earth, but unlike Earth, Titan has clouds and rainfall of methane. Other organics are formed in the atmosphere and fall like light snow on the moon. The moon's weather and surface processes have combined complex organics, energy, and water similar to those that may have sparked life right here on Earth. Titan is larger than the planet Mercury, to put it in perspective. It's also the second largest moon in our solar system. As it orbits Saturn, it's about 886 million miles away from the sun. That's about 10 times farther from the sun than we are right now. And because it's so far from the sun, it can get to about a surface temperature of about negative 290 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's super cold. That's why it's called the icy moon. Its surface pressure is also 50% higher than what it is here on Earth. So we're not sending humans to Titan anytime soon. Dragonfly was selected as part of the agency's New Frontiers program, which includes the New Horizons missions to Pluto and the Kuiper Belt, Juno, the Juno mission, which is currently orbiting Jupiter, and the OSIRIS-REx mission, which is orbiting the asteroid Bennu. Which we've talked about all three of those right here on this science segment on Fueled by Deathcast. Lori Glaze, the director of NASA's Planetary Science Division, said the New Frontiers program has transformed our understanding of the solar system, uncovering the inner structure and composition of Jupiter's turbulent atmosphere, discovering the icy secrets of Pluto's landscape, revealing mysterious objects in the Kuiper Belt, and exploring a near-Earth asteroid for the building blocks of life. Now we can add Titan to the list of enigmatic worlds NASA will explore. Really interesting stuff. And what's cool is to throw it all the way back to Cassini again. This isn't the first time that we've sent something to Titan. Not only did Cassini orbit Saturn and obviously Titan as well, it deployed the Huygens probe in 2005 to that icy moon. And some of that data is what we're using to help craft the mission for Dragonfly. What's really cool is JPL released this video I'm about to show you of that 2005 mission and some of the data that we got and actual footage from the moon. And here's that. So moving along, now that we're into July, I'm going to kick off a month-long celebration of the 50th anniversary of the historic Apollo 11 mission. And what we're going to talk about this week is mission control itself. And I can't say enough, before I even get into that, I can't say enough about the new documentary that just hit, Apollo 11 from CNN Films. You can find it on Amazon Prime now. It's also on YouTube and on iTunes, and there's probably some other places that you can find it too. Just look for the brand new 2019 Apollo 11 documentary from CNN Films. It's incredible. It is all stitched together from actual footage, remastered, digitized, and recolored, and also all the audio from mission control, from the astronauts, from everybody involved. There is no narrator throughout the entire thing. It is the closest someone like myself will ever come to living that moment again from July 16th, 1969, when we launched that incredible mission and those three men into space, and they eventually made it to the moon. It's incredible. Go see that frickin' documentary. But talking about mission control, they have now restored the actual mission control at the Johnson Space Center. That is so freaking cool. So, like I said, 50 years ago, on July 20th, 1969, the United States achieved the most profound milestone of human accomplishment when it landed the NASA astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on the moon, while their command module pilot Michael Collins orbited above. The extraordinary team of experts that guided these first three brave astronauts on their journey ran the hour-by-hour operations of the Apollo 11 mission from a facility at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston, a facility that has been given a new life as a source of learning and inspiration. The Apollo Mission Control Center has been restored to appear exactly as it did in that era, just in time for this 50th anniversary celebration. Johnson's director, Mark Geyer, said, "Apollo captured the world's attention and demonstrated the power of America's vision and technology, which has inspired generations of great achievements in space exploration and scientific discovery. Our goal 50 years ago was to prove we could land humans on the moon and return them safely to Earth. Our goal now is to return to the moon to stay in a sustainable way. I'm thrilled this facility will be open for the public to view. It is my hope that it will serve as an inspiration for the generations to come." So this facility wasn't just mission control for Apollo 11. It had the NASA flight control teams planned, they trained, and they executed the missions for Gemini, Apollo, the Apollo-Soyuz missions, Skylab, and the Space Shuttle missions up until 1992. The facility was actually made into a National Historic Landmark by the National Park Service in 1985, and in 2011 it was renamed the Christopher C. Kraft Jr. Mission Control Center in honor of the man who developed many of the concepts that are still used today in human spaceflight control. Restoration Project Manager Jim Thornton said, "By restoring the Apollo Mission Control Center, NASA is preserving the rich history of a remarkable achievement in human spaceflight. This will not only help share our history with visitors from around the world, but also remind our current employees who are planning missions to send humans back to the moon and then further to Mars that anything is possible, and we are standing on the shoulders of giants." JPL actually released a really cool video that details just how they restored this historic site, and I'll show you that right here.
Subscribe for more space.
The restoration team included representatives of the Apollo mission control teams that supported astronauts on their missions. Great pains were taken by these individuals to ensure the authenticity of this control room and the artifacts contained inside. The pieces in the restored control room, visitors gallery, and adjacent simulation support room are either original artifacts and that were cleaned and restored, such as the control consoles and displays, or the items have been recreated based on original samples. These include paint colors, carpeting, coffee mugs, clothing items, and even ashtrays. The artifacts were all placed just as they were 50 years ago, and that is a sight to behold. I hope I get to go see it in person someday. Last year, I got to go down to Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida, and they have a recreation of the mission control in their museum. So it's much smaller, and I'll show you a picture of it. It's still something to behold, but it is definitely, a set piece, whereas this is recreated down to the nuts and bolts. So cool and so needed, because it will inspire future generations of spaceflight, for sure, for people being able to go visit this. And more than 1 million visitors from around the world visit the Space Center in Houston annually, and now they will have a chance to view this restored historical site, literally stepping back in time to the first moon landing and now looking forward to America's next moon landing. So I implore any of you who are fans of Fueled by Deathcast out there, if you get a chance to go to the Johnson Space Center in Houston and view this historic site, take lots of pictures, share them with us here at the show. I hope to get there someday and see it for myself. It's so cool.